So tell us about yourself. What kind of music do you play?
Yeah, so the music I play is very inspiring. It's very inspirational. Kind of the elements of it is like kind of alternative, pop, a little bit of kind of soul as well. So I play guitar and piano, and it's very bliss. It's very enchanting. It gets to your feelings. It helps you to reflect in your life. That's what it's about. It's very honest and very true to yourself. So.
So where are you from? Where'd you go to school?
Yeah. So I'm born in Washington D.C., but I grew up in Springfield, Virginia. Um, then I went to college at a prep school, and that's when I actually found someone who gave me a guitar, and it was really random, right? So he was giving it away. He was moving actually, and once he was moving, he was like, "Hey, I got a guitar. You want it?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't play guitar, so why would I need it?" Right?
Yeah, that's
So,
interesting because that's actually leading into my next question of how you found music.
oh yeah.
I'm assuming that's something of that story, of how you found music. Can you
Oh.
tell us a little more about that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. The way I found music, I tell you what, it was unexpected. The unexpected, but it was meant to be. It's something that found me. I didn't find it. It came after my life.
Yeah.
So it was definitely something that took me. And from there it was just a relationship, man, a bond.
It's like your calling, your destiny.
Yeah, most
Something
definitely.
You felt real natural.
Yeah,
about
it was natural. It was very natural, and it was very comfortable. I was very comfortable, and I was very calm.
How did you feel about that moment when that happened to you and you figured it out? Like, hey, look, this is music. This is something that just came to me. Was it like you woke up that day and you found your passion, your reason, your calling for life?
Yeah, man. It kind of like it kept tugging at my heart. To be honest with you, like just picking up a guitar, and I didn't know much at the time, so I was just like plucking around and stuff like that. But little by little, man, I swear it started tugging at me every day. I started building a quick habit, and I got very obsessed quickly. And that's when I realized that I think I got something here. I got some kind of destination.
And you were in college at the time?
Yeah, I was in
your
college.
20s?
Yeah, I was in my 20s. I was about 22, 21. I was in a prep school, stuff like that. And at the time I didn't know what I was doing in my life, to be honest. So
Right.
it came at the perfect time. Perfect timing.
And what was your degree? Did you study music?
Yeah, I finished getting my music degree at UVA-Wise.
Okay.
And yeah, man, it took me some time. It took me a long time, but you know what? It's about what you can endure. It's not about the smartest, quickest, fastest, strongest, whatever. It's all about who can endure. Who can get to that mountain. Without giving up. So definitely.
So what is your process when writing music?
So my process, I'll say the first thing I think about is it's the thought, right? Because you're influenced by thoughts. So my thoughts come to mind up in my head, and then from there, my thoughts influence the way I feel, right? Because if you can't have good thoughts and then feel bad, right? They have to be complementary. Like they have to.
It's like triggers your emotions. And
Right. They have to be together. It has to be on both pages. So yeah, I would say it first starts with my thoughts, then it invades my feelings, and then from there it goes through my hands. I'll give you an example, kind of adversity and obstacles. So there was a Craigslist ad, and it said hiring for musicians, paid gig, and I contacted them. I emailed them. And I send them my press kit, and a press kit is just like a resume for as a musician. Mm-hmm. It's like something to tell you where I played and kind of background stuff like that. And then afterwards, I called them, and I called them probably twice. I called them once that week, and then I asked if I could speak to the manager. He goes, yeah, the manager's busy, and it was call back, and I kept calling back, I kept following up, because if you're gonna get gigs, if you want shows, if you want the life of being a live performer, you've got to want it. Nobody else has got to want it but you. And I mean, ain't nobody out here, gonna be holding my hand to go get these gigs. No, I have to go, dude. I have to be relentless in this journey.
So you have to be very persistent.
Sure, yeah, of course.
Show them that you want it.
Yeah, if you don't want, I mean, you know what I mean. There's no. If you're not gonna want it, then forget it. Just drop your bags and forget about it. Don't even try to play. Don't even try to be.
I can make an assumption is that there's probably 10 other people that they're that are in front of you or in line with you. They got to pick. They have to pick who they want.
Yeah, no.
The competition is real.
Yeah, the competition is real. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. The competition is real, but you have to prepare yourself to want to win every time. This life is about winning. You know what I mean? You don't play a game to lose. You know, you don't play a chess to lose. You play to win. So you've got to make sure you're detailed. So yeah, the guy told, I emailed him, and then I guess he sent me an email and told me, hey, stop harassing my servers and stop calling, and no, we're not booking you, and stop calling weird hours and all this crazy stuff. And I could have responded in a very negative point of view. I could have been like, you know what, da da da, forget you, blah blah. But the only thing I said was, hey, thanks for actually getting back to me, right? I didn't, hey, thanks for the fire, man, because ain't nothing gonna stop me. You know what I mean?
And that's when you got to control your emotions.
Yeah, you got to control your emotions. You realize that it's just part of the game. It's just part of the game, and you don't want to get your emotions involved in this game, because that's when you slip, and that's when you mess up, and that's when you start. Like, it's just like a boxer. When you box, if there's a boxer and you're in a boxing match, you know what I mean. The worst thing you can get is emotional, because when you start getting emotional, your principles come out of line.
You lose fundamentals.
Right, you start losing fundamentals. You forgot what you taught. You forgot what you've been learned. Right, you don't want to do that. Yeah. So in my own career, in my own approach, I must keep my principles.
That's right.
I must keep them firm and clear and clean and crisp. Yeah. Because I cannot afford to get emotional. Because when I get emotional, that's when I say things I don't want to say. Then that makes a bad, relationship. You know what I mean? And it's not good. So
especially in adverse or high pressure scenarios.
Sure. Yeah.
Like that, where you had to deal with a situation where you had something. The guy replied in almost anger and accused you of something that obviously wasn't true.
Right.
And you got to control your emotions and stick with your fundamentals, your plan, and stay on rhythm and just keep persistent and go on to the next gig or come back with a different approach to that same guy. Maybe that manager will leave, or maybe you can speak to someone else. Maybe he's having a bad day.
Yeah.
So in the end, persistency is key.
Persistence is key, my friend. Yeah.
In the music industry, like you said earlier, it's a dog eat dog world.
It's a dog eat dog world.
Yeah.
So you just gotta keep yourself. I mean, be open. You know what I mean? Just because I had that experience, don't be so closed-minded. Keep an open mind. You know what I mean? Learn from everything around your environment. So just continue to learn. Learning is the most important thing too. Learning and resilience.
And these are day-to-day life lessons that you have to get into your skills and assets, so that way you can face adversity, you can face obstacles, and you can adapt to the environment. Okay, so and I think we can both agree on that, and that's how you're going to go forward, and that's how people have to go forward.
Sure.
So. Have you ever felt like you're not good enough?
Yeah, no, definitely. I've had some moments, like, is this something that I should be doing, or should I not be doing this? I definitely have had those moments, but I'll tell you the one thing I always keep in mind is that I have to always keep myself understanding that this is my destiny. This is a life I've already chosen, so I can't go back, right? I can't, why would I go back? I would waste so much time, so it's more for something. I think of it in this way. I think about everything I've been through. I think about all the pain, the stuff, the hard times, but you got to envision the good things.
But what do you do when your instructor, someone tells you you're not good enough?
Yeah.
You're just not meeting the standard.
Sure.
And you're not, your instruments aren't hitting the right notes.
Right.
Your voice isn't good enough. Your performance isn't good enough. What do you do? Self-doubt. How do you handle that? Yeah.
Well, the first thing I think, I always assess myself. Every little thing that I do, I assess myself. Even when I perform, I assess the things that I need to work on. So I don't take it personal. I just kind of work to get better. I realize, okay, this is where I'm at and this is where I want to be. So I got to think about it I always think long term, because you have to have the distance, right? You can't have self-doubt and all this other stuff in your mind the whole time, to succeed.
Yeah, you have to be an honest critic of yourself. Your
Sure.
talents.
Yeah.
You have to see where you're at. You have to be honest. You're like, look, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I am average. Maybe I'm not an expert.
Right.
But what do I have to do to fill that gap and become an expert? And that leads into confidence.
Right.
And that's my next question is,
Sure.
Confidence is not built overnight. That's my statement. I always say that to myself. It's not built overnight. A lot of people can be born with a personality where you're type A, you're very social, you're this and that.
Right.
But confidence it's definitely not built overnight. So what was your journey like to build self-confidence?
Yeah. So again, you got to start believing. You got to believe as well. But I think the number one thing that I've done throughout my career right now is talk myself up. Right? I talk myself up. I tell myself that I am the greatest, that I am the best. That I am undefeated. No matter what situation I go through, and it hits me hard. I'm still standing. Right? I'm still existing as a person, as a human being on this earth. So I've already won. Right? I've already been through it. I'm still here. So to me, I have to realize I talk myself up, and when I talk myself up, it influences my behavior and the way I do things and the way I approach people for gigs or shows or even in my performances. I'm confident, but it's more of a natural thing. It's a natural approach.
You're convincing yourself that I will not lose.
Yeah, I will not lose. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want to have regrets. I don't want to have these regrets of coulda, woulda, shoulda, coulda. None of those things need to exist in my mind.
And
so
I know in certain scenarios that if you don't have confidence, you won't perform as well. And even in sports, or if you're at work, if you don't have confidence in what you do in that moment, like you're going to question what you're doing.
Sure.
But if you just, like you said, just talk yourself into greatness, just go to that moment, the same moment, and you're like, I'm going to do great. I want to write this PowerPoint paper, whatever it is.
Right.
I want to present this to my boss.
Sure.
And it's going to be fantastic because I practiced it. Planning.
Right.
We talked about planning. Planning is key to know your stuff. You go in there with confidence and you'll have great results.
Oh, definitely, most definitely. I mean, when you're confident, remember you always got to walk it too.
Exactly.
So the confidence gets me moving, keeps me going. And without that confidence, I'm not gonna be here. I'm not gonna be going out and doing gigs and doing our shows. But I remember it's a natural road for me. This is a destiny, and I mean I'm reaching my destination.
Right.
So it's not like I need to go out and pump myself up and go to a pet rally and any of those kind of sorts of things to get myself hyped up to doing things.
And
So
it's all in your head.
it's all in my head.
So we're gonna go into the future of your career here. So
Sure.
Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, in 5 to 10 years, I want to see. I will see myself, and I will be there, and it will be my reality. I see myself first knowing a lot more than I know right now in the music business, because the music business is a tricky business. It's a funny game. You got to know the language. You got to understand the language and the kind of what what people are really talking about in contracts or agreements and all this other kind of stuff. So that's one thing I wanted to be well-rounded in. And then, one of the number one things is, win Grammys. I will win Grammys, I plan to win the best, artist of the year, best new artist of the year, best songwriter of the year, best lyrics, best inspiring artist, all those, that's in my name.
That's your mentality.
That's my mentality.
5 years ago, the progress you've made, and
Sure.
now you're looking at 5, 10, 15-year plan. It's amazing to have goals with confidence. So what advice would you give new musicians that were in your shoes 10 years ago or 5 years ago? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I'll tell them this. If they're doing something else on the side, if they have a full-time job and they're trying to be a musician, I'll tell them to quit that job. Forget it. Because you can only truly be one thing. I don't have a backup plan. I really don't. It's just how I'm. It's either I do this or I don't do anything else. So I would tell them to first commit to what you're gonna do. Okay, and then after that, educate yourself. Right? Because not knowing will hurt you. If you don't know certain things in the industry, they will hurt you and it will punish you and it will derail your career. So you want to know, you want to have knowledge. And then as a musician, I mean, it's a natural thing if to do something that you love. So I would say to enjoy that side, but do not try to avoid learning the business. You must learn the business.
Absolutely.
So
in pursuing your dreams, what do you want to be remembered for?
For someone, I think to myself, and it's all how you see yourself, right? So it's all how you see yourself in this life. And I think for me, it's someone who inspired a nation. I don't know if I can change the world. I don't know about all that, but I will say this: I can definitely inspire, get people out of their cave in some way. People are in their broken cave, and they have a passion. Everybody has a passion inside them. To awake that passion inside them, and someone else to go out and be able to tell their story. And wow, man, Rosebud inspired me, man, to go out and be a great author, great writer. Now I'm writing great books. It's going into movies, something like that. So it's for me to inspire people, man. To enjoy what I do, but the plaques and all that stuff on your name on the street or whatever. it's good. But at the end of the day, I think for me, the best thing I would like to do is inspiring people, because that's what drives
Yeah,
people.
it's a very genuine effort and a journey that you're on. So keep it unique and personal to yourself, and you're gonna go far ways. You've come a long way, and you just keep it on consistent and just keep going, keep working hard, and that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna inspire other people. I'm sure you have along the way. That's what life is about. So we're gonna get more into debt. So that's it. So, let's get more in debt. Once you have a moment where you have self-doubt and people give you that feedback, that negative feedback, and really in a real situation where you're like, hey man, you're not good enough.
All right.
So you got to find your confidence. So in your journey, how did you build your self-confidence from that point on?
Yeah. Once again, I am someone who understands and has to understand that if I don't believe in it, no one else will. So I got to talk myself up every day about this thing. I've got to let it invade my mind. It's got to be a constant reminder. I got to keep rehearsing it on a daily basis, because that's going to continue to refine me every time. So I don't.
In that moment where you left wherever you were with a group of people, you left. You can either choose to take what they're saying, and just beat yourself up and go down a negative slope, or like you said, you can talk yourself up and you say, okay, I had this bad moment, but now from this point on, I'm going to take their feedback and I'm going to turn it into something positive, and I'm going to talk myself up and make myself even more confident in my skills, because I just got better. Maybe I needed that moment to get better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. I agree. Those are moments, I think, in some way are meant to happen, because it tells you how bad you really want it.
Yeah,
tells you how bad you really love it.
Yep,
right?
Exactly,
like it's like someone you care about, or someone you're gonna let someone get inside your head and let you say that bad things about this person that you like, or whatever it may be, or you have a passion for. No, you're not, right? So it's all about that belief and going out and doing it and keeping it close to you. Because that's, at the end of the day, it's all how you see yourself. I want to thank everyone for making this possible. I just want to thank Sabrina Henderson for just doing her work, beautiful film work, and Arrow Eve as well, being a great photographer, and Inspired by Khan as well. This was a great opportunity for me as an artist, Rosebud Ireland, to show kind of what I'm all about and what I'm going to be doing in the near future. And as well, I want to shout out to one of my mentors. His name is Fred Zemer. He's a little tough guy. He's a good guy. He meant a lot to me as well. And my mom as well, Annette Ireland. She is a soldier to me. So I'm so appreciative of this experience and this atmosphere. So I want to thank them again as well. And best wishes. I'm not